Hey guys, today's topic of the video is going to be about an important poem, stopping by word by the stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, written by a very famous American writer poet, Robert Frost. In this video, we will be covering the introduction, the summary, poem text, full analysis, major themes and literary devices of this topic. So, but before starting, I will suggest you to subscribe to my channel so that you can get all my literature related videos. Also, follow us on Instagram so that you can get all the literary updates from there. So, starting with the introduction of this poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. This poem was written by a very famous American poet, Robert Frost. It is one of the best poems in American literature. It was published in 1923 in his poetry collection, New Hampshire. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening is after the road not taken, which is Robert Frost's best known and best loved poem. His highly loved poem. The poem is full of poetic devices such as imagery, personification, symbolism, etc. Summary, moving towards the summary, the short summary, what the poem is about. So the poet is stopping in a wood during a winter evening. He keenly observes the beauty of the nature, but his horse and his worldly affairs are not letting him to stay in the beautiful nature any longer. So this poem is all about the conflict between, not the conflict exactly, but was exposure to the natural world and how much we are getting into this artificial and this man-made world, and we are losing every inch of this natural world. So moving towards the text of this poem, this is a normal poem, a short poem of easy paraphrasing. So moving towards the analysis of this poem, stanza 1. Whose words these are? I think I know. His house is in the village thaw. He will not see me stopping here to watch his words fill up with snow. Analysis. The poet has come to the words and questions about himself about the honor of these words, and then he answers it by himself. And the honor of the words live in the jungle, in the village, and that's the reason he won't be able to see the poet standing in the woods, watching at his words, which are filled up with snow. It's such a beautiful panorama when someone is watching lonely in a deserted forest, in a deserted woods, and the snow is falling exactly on the green leaves and beauty, and this is such a beautiful scene. So the poet is enjoying this all scenery. The poet starts the poem with introduction of the honor of the woods. In the stanza, the poet is hinting about the human's isolation from the natural world when he says that the owner will not see him stopping in his woods, as he doesn't live in these woods. So the owner of these woods is not living in this woods. He is actually living in industrial world. He is not living in this natural world. So he can't be seeing the poet. Woods depicts the natural world, and the owners living far away from the woods suggests that humanity is too far from the exposure and influence of the nature. There is use of imagery to watch his words fill up with snow. Stanza 2. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. Analysis. It is the darkest evening of the winter and the woods and lakes are covered with snow. The poet thinks that his horse must be thinking the poet is staying here. The poet stayed there very strange, and there is a farmhouse nearby. So why they can't be living in a farmhouse? The horse is personified here because of humans' ability of thinking and judging. Farmhouse is mentioning here the humans' creations, the humanly creations and civilization and man-made world. Civilization actually the man-made world. The horse is thinking that it is a natural world rather than an urban life. Then why would the poet will stop here? Because everyone is thinking that urban life, the industrial life is better than staying in the slow, sluggish life of these woods, these rural areas, countrysides. Stanza 3. He gives his harness bell a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Analysis. The horse shakes his bell in order to mention what's wrong with the poet. There is a complete silence in the woods except the sweet wind and snowfall. The shaking of bells interrupts the poet enjoying the woods and a natural sight. Through the sketching of the words, Frost is making the sound of wind and snowfall near to our ears, and we can experience it. This is, I guess, it is onomatopoeia. That this falling of flakes, fleecy ice. Stanza 4. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, Analysis. The words are very dark, deep and lovely, but he has to go and do some worldly affairs. The poet has to go miles away before he sleeps. The poet is describing the woods very beautifully and calling it dark because nature is hiding some secret from humans in these dark woods. But the poet has to go to the rural life to fulfill his promises. He is not staying here to dig out these secrets. The repetition of last two lines focuses on the importance of the poet's departure because life is too short, and before his death he want to fulfill all his promises. That's why he have to go to the urban life. Major themes, moving towards the major themes of this poem, this important poem, magical effect of nature which makes a person to forget all worldly affairs. Rural environment, theme of death, contrast between natural and human's world, and life is short. Moving towards the last slides, the literary style and devices of this poem. Use of personification. When he says he gives his horns bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake, gives the human's qualities to the horse. Use of imagery makes reader feel things through their five senses. The poet has used the images of the sense of sight, such as woods, house, lake, and these images help reader see the woods as a source of solace, comfort to a lonely traveler. Phrases like watch his woods sounds the sweep, his horse are alliterations. Sentences like he will not see me stopping and in he gives his harness he gives his harness bell a shake or assonances. Phrases like whose words are these I think I know and to watch his words fill up with snow are consonances because of repetition of W sound, because of W. So that's all. Thanks for watching. I hope you will like or dislike this video. Also subscribe and follow me on YouTube and Instagram. A link of Instagram is given in the description below, and you will also find the poem The Road Not Taken and about Robert Frost videos on my channel. Link will be given in the description below. And thanks for watching. Thank you, and like, share and comment. Thank you.